Hello, 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 everyone. It's so good to be back online. And like I said, I'm going to let Facebook do its thing. It's always been a transition, I guess, when you're trying to use this technology and everything like that. But we're going to get started because it's long overdue, long overdue. This is Beyond the Glitter. And I'm your host, Diamond J. And for those of you that don't know me or know what I do a progressive thing, right? I have a lot of things going on. So basically, the way I like to narrow it down is that I assist women that are over the age 40 with personal and professional development. That's it. We talk about any and everything. And today's topic is going to be how to transition. What is it like to transition from girlfriend to wife? What does that really look like, right? Um, I'm going to see if a few people can get online before I even get started. So I don't want anyone to miss anything. I'm actually a couple minutes ahead of time. So we're going to give it a couple minutes. But while we're giving it a couple minutes, I just want to go over the updates and what's been going on because life be lifing. And whether we want to admit it or not, it does. Like we don't want to let nobody know that we going through stuff. We don't want to let nobody know we got life going on. We just kind of like, I don't know why we do that. But anyway, so life has been lifing. I launched the um, the show, right? Almost 30 days ago. I think it was on January the 10th when I did my first show. And it was with my brother talking about mental illness and how he attempted suicide and what is it like for men who go through this and are contemplating suicide. So it was a really, really great show. If you didn't get to check it out, you can always check us out on Spotify. But again, life has been lifing. I've been sick for the past 3 weeks, and I'm just now getting back to my normal self. Probably can hear it, and we're just gonna go with it because then after that, I had to do a fly out and go see my mother because she was getting ready to have surgery. So thank you guys for everyone that prayed, everyone that actually was able to check on her. She's doing fine. She came out of surgery just fine. And I don't know if I actually was able to do that. And life be doing all kinds of things. So if you have any comments or anything like that, please post them. We want to hear from you. We want to hear what you have to say as far as what do you feel the benefits of moving from girlfriend to wife. If you're online, say hello because on this I actually can't. I don't think I can see who joined or what have you. So if you're online, participate. We're gonna have a good time. Everybody knows that when I talk, I ain't coming from a place of fakeness or whatever. I just be real. Like I just be really talking about the real deal, Holyfield, about this transition. So I wanted to talk about this because this has been a topic um, that my girlfriends and we've been talking about this because I have a few girlfriends that are married. So they um, they are in um, they are in marriages that been 20 years and up. So I'm like, hey, what better advice can you get from someone who has been married and truly likes marriage? Because you can't talk to the person that, if this is your transition, you can't talk to the people that don't like marriage because that's what you're going to get, right? So like I think I've read a comment I didn't get to go through because I just kind of I'm sorry, you guys. So yeah, remember what I was just saying, life be lifing and stuff be happening with this technology. I said that before I even got started because it never fails. It never freaking fails. So I do apologize. Computer died, just be doing whatever it wants to do. But anyway, as I was saying, I have posted um, what is the transition? How do women really feel about the transition of moving from girlfriend to wife? Like, I really want to talk about this. If you're online, please share your comments. Well, I'll answer your questions. I will share your comments and things like that because I really think this is a topic that people don't really talk about. And you know me, I'm when I talk about something, I want to give the real deal, holy feel. I want to give how I feel, the real thing that I'm actually going through, so that people can be really get the big picture of what's going on. So as I was saying before, I was rudely cut off, right? I was saying that I was talking to my girlfriends and they are married. They've been married for over 20 years plus. To me, this is just me. I don't think that the amount of years equate to anything. Okay, you can be married 5 years, 20 years. You can be married 20 years and not even love your husband or be happy in your marriage. I'm not talking about those. Hey, sis, how you doing, Sapphire? Yeah, I'm not talking about those people that are just miserably happy. But what we do know is that there is a real transition that happens. For those of you that have watched my journey, from those of you that have followed me, know that I have been very open with my life, with my dating life, with raising Eliana, to oh, thank you, sis. Um, yeah, so you guys know me, right? You know my journey, and I've always kept you guys in the loop because I think it's always a good conversational piece to talk about. But what I wanted to talk today about is transitioning from being a girlfriend to a wife. And what does that really look like? Because people don't really talk about this thing. Like, what are you having a conversation? Because I just started dating a gentleman, and you guys have probably seen the pictures or what have you. And I was asking him, like, what is that? Have I been married before? I have, but this whole thing seems different. It feels different. I'm a little bit older than what I was when I first got married, so it's totally different. My I don't have any kids in the house, so that's free. So I'm looking at things like when things are going on, I'm looking at this transition like this is totally different. And I don't think enough women talk about it. I don't think we talk about the transition that actually happens. As I was saying, I met with a young lady last night, and we were talking about marriage and the transition and what it really looks like. Y'all, it is not glitz and glam all the time. It is not just traveling and going on these trips. It is not. It is not that. And I think that that's what we have the misconception of what a marriage looks like is being able to, oh, we're out here at this fancy restaurant, at this upscale restaurant. We went on this trip, we went on that trip. And although I post those things when Tony and I are doing those things, that ain't all the things that's happening. That is not all the things that are happening. So I wanted to kind of get into the conversation about what it actually takes to transition. The first thing that I wanted to talk about is that you have to have the mindset. And please chime in if you have questions or comments. You have to have the mindset that you do want to get married. That's the first thing. That is the first thing. You can bump all the conversations that women be like, oh, it's just a piece of paper. I don't want to get married. And that's fine. I'm not knocking you for that. But as I have grown and gotten older, my mindset has changed. My mindset is totally different. We're not picking up, we're not in our 20s anymore. We're not in our 30s. We're some of us are pushing 50 and 60. So what that looks like as far as finding a husband, being a wife, is going to totally look different when you were married at the age of 20, or when you were looking for somebody, or when you were dating. Even your dating life is different. So, what I had to do is I had to change my mindset. I had to get around women that were truly giving me the real deal. I don't want to hear this, oh, we doing good, or we've been married 20 years. Because, like I said before, your years to me, and this is just my opinion, your years don't mean to me. Just because somebody has been married for 20, 30 years, that don't move me. Now that moves Tony because he likes that, right? He's like, oh, that's great, you know. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you've been married for 20, 30 years, but what kind of stuff did you really go through? How many times did that husband cheat? How many times did that wife go off on the husband? How many times? What did you actually go through? Now, when you can discuss those things and you say, yes, our marriage has stood the test of time, stood through the fire, then we can talk about, oh, that's great that you've been married for 30 years. But when you just sit there and say, hey, yeah, we've been married for 30 years, I think people just get lost in the euphoria of, oh, that's great. That ain't what I be thinking. I be thinking like, what's going on? Sapphire says, a mindset is a must. It's equally important to have a person vetted to confirm they are who and what they are presenting. Wow, that is true. That is true, true, true. Are you let me see if I can get this into to um to Sapphire. So she's watching. We'll see. Sapphire, I sent you the link if you want to join and get online. I sent you the link through your messenger. But yeah, that is what we are talking about. You gotta have the mindset that you want to that it is okay to get married. The first thing is that we talk about being a girlfriend, and you talk about, oh, this man, we don't need this piece of paper. But what I have realized, and I've been reading a lot more stories, that when something happens to that particular spouse or partner, I guess I can say partner, when something happens to that partner, you don't have no say so as a girlfriend. You are just that. You are just a girlfriend. So all the things that you have been doing, all these wife duties and living together, buying a house, buying cars, buying all these things, you don't have you you don't have to you don't have no say so. You have no say so in what goes on. You're not getting no pension. You're not getting no social security. You're not getting any of that. Now, if that doesn't matter to you and that you have put in this time and you invested your time, your energy with this particular person, and that doesn't matter to you, then by all means, then go ahead and go the route that you're going and be the girlfriend. Yes. That brings me to the next question, Sapphire. Sapphire says, um, it's a lot of people who are miserable and they're married. See, and I just don't want to fall into that trap. I don't, that's one of my hesitations, is that I see a lot of people that are miserable and married, and they're in it just because they've been in it for a long time. So is this really what we should be doing? Because we've invested so much time, do we just stay into these relationships because we've invested the time? Or do we work on ourselves? Do we try to work on the marriage? Because I just got through talking to another guy. He contacted me yesterday and he's like, hey, Marriage is going, it's rough, it's work, it's this. And it is a lot of, I think a lot of people don't really feel like, these days, a lot of people are not really committed. That's the thing. Don't nobody want to be committed to anything or anybody. We can barely commit to these jobs or to ourselves on doing some exercise program, whatever, whatever, let alone commit to a whole human being for a lifetime. So the first thing, in order to transition from a girlfriend to a wife, you got to know that it comes with legal rights and protections. So you have to be you have to know that. So you have the rights and the legal rights to whatever happens to that man or woman. You'll be able to make the decisions. It doesn't matter what his family says. It doesn't matter what the kids say. It doesn't matter what any of that says. It requires transparency. It's impossible to build with someone who starts off with a lie. And that is true because what happens is, as along the way, before you get married, you are to be vetting this person. And you have to know, and it's the hardest thing. Let me tell you, it's the hardest thing because if you don't know yourself and you don't know what you're looking for, I don't know if I want to be married or do or don't. If you go in and like that, you don't know, then you're allowing some things to slide, and you don't know your non-negotiables, and you're allowing some things to slide. So like I said, the first thing is that you got to have, to transition from girlfriend to wife, you got to know the legality of it. that is the most that is one of the main benefits. It just is. Marriage offers the legal rights to certain benefits, money, decisions, death. You get to choose, you as the wife get to choose what happens. The second thing is the emotional security. You'll be able to have the emotional security with a committed person, and gives you the sense of committed. So you say, what, Diamond J? I can have that with my boyfriend. Yes, you can, but your boyfriend over here got a side chick. Doesn't mean that your husband's not going to cheat. It doesn't mean that, but usually when you're both committed and you're both willing to do the work, then you're in it to commit to each other, and you're in it to work on it for each other and the marriage of it. Um, the other one is social recognition. So you'll be able to socially recognize people as a couple. They'll be able to recognize you as a married couple. Does that hold any weight? Mm, I don't know. I think that you are seen differently when you are married. I think that people look at you in higher esteem that when you are married, depending on how you forecast that into the social media or in the public world. So I think that those things, I think they do count for something, but I don't think that um, it holds a lot of weight because a lot of people be faking and shaking. A lot of people be faking and shaking. The fourth one is the financial benefits. So you'll have the financial benefits of being able to get discounts on insurance. You'll be able to have a different tax bracket. Those are some of the tax break or any tax breaks. So you'll be able to have those different things going from a girlfriend to a wife. The other one is family planning. The fifth one is family planning. You'll have to be able to transition from I'm sorry, to girlfriend to wife. You're building a family. And usually that's what you want. You want to build a family on a stable foundation. Hopefully your marriage is stable and you know where you want to go with the kids, and you want to plan this family. So that's the fifth one. The sixth one is health and well-being. What better way to have someone that is on your side, in your corner, to have someone that is going to be able to rock with you through health and in sickness? Now, like I said, I'm going into this transition. I'm just a girlfriend. But the transition is very known. It's already known that this is the ultimate thing, is to get married. We already know that. So, but I was sick a few weeks ago, like I said in the beginning. Ain't nobody called me. Ain't nobody checked on me. Ain't nobody did none of that when I was sick. But Tony took care of me. He made sure that I got the food, made sure I got the soup, made sure. What better way to have that in such a loving and genuine way to have that? And then the last one, no, the seventh one is personal growth. You're going to have personal growth with that person. You'll be able to grow with this person. You're not only growing, but you're learning this person. Sapphire says marriage is a beautiful thing when it's with the right person. It is a beautiful thing when it's with the right person, but here's the thing. If you're not willing to, if you start to grow apart and you don't have that transparency, you don't have that communication, you don't feel like you can talk to this person, it ain't gonna look good. So the last one that I have is, of course, should be the first one, is the religious beliefs. A lot of people are Christian, or a lot of people believe you have the cultural beliefs that you should get married, and this isn't seen in the eyes of God, that it's the right covenant between you, God, and the person. So a lot of people really believe that. Now, I've given you 8 things, 8 good points of transitioning from girlfriend to wife, because those are some of the things, these are the benefits of being able to do so. But now let's just get to the juicy part, right? Here's the thing. As I'm transitioning from girlfriend to wife, that shit is scary as hell. Y'all, I don't know what y'all, I don't know, I don't know what y'all don't be talking about. Because I'm like, y'all, I ain't heard nobody say none of the stuff that I'm experiencing. And I'm like, okay, so um, how do you go from girlfriend to wife? And I was talking to Tony's mother, actually. I was like, hey, I'm getting ready to do the podcast. I would love to hear what you have to say as far as transitioning from girlfriend to wife. And she said a couple of things. Hi, Tony. She said a couple of things. She said, in order for you to transition from girlfriend to wife, first you must be living on your own as a girlfriend. You got to be living on your own, have your own things, your own car, your own job, being able to handle yourself in a manner of being able to take care of yourself. The second thing is that you do not have to impress the man to just be yourself. I think a lot of times women, depending on what class of women that you're looking at, women want to impress the man. Oh, I want to get him. I want him to marry me. I want him to do this. I want him to do that. There's things you can't. No, you just need to be yourself. Be honest with each other. Tony says this all the time. Have the communication. Be open. I asked her, what is the difference? And I think this is the key right here, is what is the difference between dating and courting? I think courting is such an old term that we no longer use anymore. And I'm 47, but I know what it is. But I think in this society, we don't talk about courting phases. We don't talk about what it takes to get to know a person. We immediately go from meeting the person to dating a few dates, and then we're like, hey, look, are we in a relationship or not? Ask me how I know. Because I've done it, right? I've done it because I've been before, when I was out there dating, I was out there like, look, you go through so much trash, so much trash. And then I had to figure out, in order to not go through this trash, then it just can't be about, oh, I'm gonna get this free meal. Oh, I'm gonna get, him to buy me XYZ. It can't be about that. You're gonna continue to get trash that just has money, right? So I had, like I said in the beginning of the call, I had to change my transition. I had to change my mindset. When people marry because of a need, they overlook red flags and they are infatuated with the feelings. Absolutely. This is what I said in the beginning. You're so hung up that we're going out, we're doing trips, we're doing this, but is this a person that you want to be? First thing is that you got to know, Is that what you want to do? Is it that you really want to get married? Do you really want to be married? Or do you not? Do you not even know? Just if you don't know, just say you don't know. I'd rather you say I don't know and then not know than if say yes I do and then you don't want to. And then when the push comes to shove, you don't want to do all those things. But as I was saying, the courting phase, we just skipped over that piece. And I have someone coming in the next couple of weeks that's going to talk about the courting phase and what that actually looks like and how you go from courting, from dating to courting, because I think this is a piece that we just kind of skip over. And then we look at men and say, hey, look, we want to be in a relationship. But I think that the man knows whether he wants to be in that relationship with you long term or if it's just smash and dash. Because, like, we got to keep it real. Like, can I keep it real? Can I be real? I mean, a lot of men are out here just seeing what they can get. So I just kind of wanted to come on here, give you guys a couple of nuggets. I've given you 8, how to transition from girlfriend to wife. I've given you a little bit about what I have been through because the difference, it's a totally different feeling. I can remember when Eliana graduated, and if y'all been following me for some time, you know when Eliana graduated, I was in the streets, baby. I was like, listen, I'm about to go out. We're about to be in the club. And I think she was what, 43, 44. I was 43, 44 when she graduated. So it's only been a couple of years, only been a few years. So she just turned 21. So it's only been a couple of years few years that she's been gone. And I was able to get that out. And now that I've gotten that out, I can see my whole self transitioning without even me saying, oh, now I'm a transition to a wife. Like, I'm not doing that. Like, I can just feel myself transitioning. I can feel myself not tolerating certain things. I can feel myself not really wanting to go certain places. I can see the growth in myself that I'm experiencing what it's like to transition from girlfriend to wife. No, everybody wants to know, like, has he asked me to be his wife? No, he hasn't. But we've already talked about that. So I don't know when it's going to happen, but I know it's going to happen because that is our ultimate goal, right? But I think that we really should have an open discussion. I love the points that Sarah has made, those points that she has made. You got to be able to vet that person. When are you really deeply committed to being with this person for a lifetime? Are you really being committed to working out the situations with this particular person? There's going to be days that, hi, hi, Deborah. There's going to be days that when you're married, that you'll, even when you're in a relationship, you're going to be like, I don't even want to see this person. Like, well, I'm letting you guys know now. I'm like, is this what it's supposed to be like? Because am I missing something? So I have to lean in on the older women that are married, that have been married, and that have gone through, because I'm hoping that they give the information, the real truths of what it's like to be married and what that transition looked like. Because it is not the glitz and glam like everybody's talking about. I can tell you that just by what I've experienced, right? So I want to hear from you guys. What do you feel the benefits are moving from girlfriend to wife? What does that transition look like? What did it look like for you? Because I think, like I said, this is a conversation that people should have. And can you be married? We're not talking about all the stuff that happens during marriage. We're not talking about all that negative stuff, right? We're not talking about all that because we know that the person can cheat. We know that you may not last. We know that, but that is not today's topic. So we know that, you can get with somebody. And actually, I read something the other day. It said, I don't know if y'all seen this meme or post or whatever, but basically, the wife, her husband had a heart attack, and the side chick contacted the wife and asked the wife, hey, do you mind if I help you take care of your husband, give you a break in doing the duties of taking care of him because he had a heart attack? I don't know what the response was, but that's crazy. Like, how is the side chick contacting the wife to say, hey, yeah, I know you need help, and I've been with him for X amount of years. We've had an affair. You know who I am. Like, wow. Is this what this is about? Like, if that's the case, then I don't want no parts of it. Deborah says it's covenant and commitment. And we talked about that covenant and commitment. That was the eighth point that I mentioned. It was about the religious aspects of it, having the covenant with God and being able to um, keep this covenant with you, him, and God, right? So I'm so happy that we were able to have this conversation. I'm so happy that I was able to leave a couple of points. I'm hoping that I posted the question. If you guys can go to my page, you'll see the question on there. What was the transition? If you have been married for years, do tell. Like, give me the details on how you felt, what happened, what was the transition, how did it go? Because I'm on that journey. I am on that journey, and I have to realize that that's just where I'm at. It is what it is, and I am on that journey to be the wife. So if you guys have any questions, comments, I would love to hear from you before we go, because I try to keep these down to 30 minutes. I'm sorry. I think we kind of went over because my computer died earlier. So if you have anything that you want to talk about, have any discussions, do tell. And again, if you want to be on the show, if you want to if you want me to interview you, you want to talk about, we had a subject. I do have a Facebook group that has about anywhere between 700 800 ladies that are in that group. And those ladies are actually, I have to revamp the group because it was a journey to self awareness, and I was teaching people about self awareness and emotional intelligence. So definitely going to revamp that group. So I will be inviting you guys to that. Most of you guys are already a part of it. So I will just start posting in there. That way, I think that we can have more intimate conversations. Natasha says that she's been happily married for 22 and a half years. And I can tell you it is what you make it. I don't think I can speak on the transition because my husband and I were so young when we met and married. We were so young and excited to be together. That's awesome. Like, that is so awesome. And I see the pictures of Natasha, and she's talking about the trucker life, and she just looks so happy. So happy that, people are just, that everybody is not mad or sad or, upset in their marriage. Everybody is not that way. And I kind of wanted to have this show because we get the negative connotation of, oh, we don't want to be married. People don't want to be married, this and that. There's some people that are happily married. And there's some people, and here, and the truth be told, they do go through things. It doesn't necessarily have to be publicized, right? It doesn't have to be publicized, but that's where I come in because I believe that we can have these conversations and be able to open up. Maybe not on this particular forum, but if I open it up in the group or what have you, then maybe we can actually get a real conversation going. Deborah says she's been married 34 years in May. Wow. And I remember working with Deborah. Wow, congratulations. That is such a blessing. 34 years in the game. And don't you think I ain't gonna come to you? I'm be coming right to you, sister. Be asking you some questions. Alejandra, If your partner is your best friend, you'll be fine. It will always be fun as long as you don't fall into a routine. Oh my God. Oh my God. Talk about the routine. And Natasha says the same thing. Friendship is so important. My husband is my best friend. So it's the same thing that Alejandra just said. Friendship is so important. This is your best friend. This is your person that you can go to. And I think that that was um, the number two, what I mentioned about emotional security and the sense of commitment. It was the number two thing nugget that I gave. You have this emotional security and sense of commitment with this person that you are able to talk to this person about any and everything. Any and everything. Like this is your partner. This is your soulmate. This is Tony and I call ourselves purpose partners. So this is my purpose partner. So you have that. And if you don't have that as a best friend, then there's some cracks and creeks that you probably need to fill up into your marriage. There's some things that you probably need to do. But the most important thing that I want people to walk away from here is don't settle for just being the girlfriend. If you don't want to get married, that's fine. You don't have to be married. Everybody hasn't been called to be married. Let that be the truth, be known. But if you seek God and that is the desire of your heart that you want to be married, I say pray and ask God to lead you in the right direction. Um, Sunday was the first time that I went to church with Tony, and it was amazing. Like I can't describe this feeling or this transition that it is. It's totally different than anything that I've ever experienced. And like I mentioned before, I have been married before, and I have been married to a pastor before. So it's totally different. Everything is totally different. And I guess it's because like Natasha said, I'm older now and things are a little bit different. You've experienced a few things, you kind of know what you want, you know what you're looking for. We're not in our 20s and 30s anymore. Well, most of us, I don't know who's all watching, but most of us are not in our 20s and 30s anymore. That person that you're seeking may not be. And if you came to my women's conference, I said this to all the women that were there. And Tony is my witness because I said this about him. Tony and I had just met, and I told Tony, he was like, I would like to take you out on a date or whatever. We went out on a date. And I'm thinking that he's just going to be one of my Facebook fans because there's a lot of people that see me as a public figure. And so they were like, hey, I want to hang out with you. I want to go out on a date or whatever, whatever. Sometimes I would take people up on their offer. We go out, we hang out, we meet or whatever. And you kind of have this connection with people, some of your fans or some of your friends that you meet online. So I thought that's what Tony was, right? So I was like, look, dude, I'm out here dating. If you want to go out on a date, we can date, but I got other people I'm dating too, okay? And that's just what it is. God is my witness. I said that because I was like, look, Tony is not nowhere near what I expected to be with. And I'm saying this for a reason because like I said, I'm giving you the real deal because people don't talk about this stuff. They don't talk about this stuff. So I'm giving you the real deal. Natasha says, pray and ask God to prepare you for marriage. Marriage isn't for the weak, and oftentimes people are asking for something they are unprepared for. Wow. Prepare you for the marriage. That is so good, Natasha. Prepare you for the marriage. And in that, when we went to church that day, the pastor was talking about that. And he was talking about how you hear these voices as single people, we hear these voices that this person is going to be my husband, or this person said, God said that this person was going to be my wife, or whatever. And that could be the furthest thing from what God's intentions are. You're just saying that because you are so desperate to be with somebody that you are just saying that. God ain't told you that. Otherwise, you would already have the person, and the person, God would have told the other person too. But instead, he just told you, no. We get that a lot of times when dealing with pastors, women in the church, you know. So I kind of understand that and know how that goes. Alejandra says, I feel that my role is to make my house a home and his to protect me physically, mentally, and economically. That's a good point because really and truly, that is exactly what it is. Um, let me get back. Let me get back to the story where I said that I was dating. And as I said, I was dating other people. Y'all, be honest with you, these people was not, they were nothing. They were absolutely nothing. They were cute. They were fine. They were fun. They were, you know, we go hang out, we go have a couple drinks. You know, we go on dates. I mean, like it was the fun thing to do. And I told this man, I told Tony, like, I'm not about to be uh listen, I got things I got going on. This man said, that's okay, because I'll wait. I'll wait. This man said he gonna wait on me. That was the turning point for me because I had to look, okay, so you got old dude over here, he ain't doing nothing. My car broke down. I had no car for 6 months. See, people don't see, and I got to get into the real deal because I got to get the real deal because people don't talk about these things. People don't talk about the real deal in these relationships. I don't, maybe you don't have the platform, I don't know. But here it is. I sold my Mercedes. I had to sell my Mercedes for other personal reasons. Then I didn't have a car for 6 months. And it was okay because I always Ubered everywhere I needed to go. But because I was dating Tony and Tony wanted to be in my life, Tony said, listen, I want to make sure, do you need food? Do you need anything? This man worked all day long, all and got off late at night. And he came to my house and was like, hey, I just want to check on you and make sure, did you need me to take you to the doctor? Did you need me to do this? That was a turning point for me because I'm like, these other dudes know I ain't got no car. These other dudes know I sold my car. Oh, am I gonna let this man go? I'll be a fool. That's where I had to change my mindset. That's where I had to figure out, okay, you're not young anymore. I know you think you look good and you all that, like, I know you think you all of that and everything, but listen, girl, you're gonna have to get your shit together. You're gonna have to get your shit together and really figure out what the hell it is that you want to do because life is life and life is going on without you. And there's a whole lot of women that are miserable and single. Let's just really talk about it. There's a whole lot of women that are miserable and single. My cousin Linda says, wonderful, my cousin. Zulima says, a marriage is what you make it. Understand that, yes, it takes the work to build and keep going on the rough days. However, it is very worth it. Remember, it is two becoming one. There's always a process to evolve. Zulima, tell me the worth it part. Tell me what that is. When you say it's worth it, what does that mean to you? Like, what benefits are you getting out of it? Because it's worth it on the rough days. Tell me. Tony is watching. My baby is watching. He said, I know that's right. So, like, I'm giving you the real deal. Like, this man was nothing. And he knows I say this. He knows this. I said this when I met him. You are nothing that I look, you don't look like what I would date. You don't, you're not somebody, you're not my preference, my type. But again, I had to have the mind shift of, wait a minute, this man is giving you, he has given you the security, he has provided for you, he has done, went over and beyond for you. When I had the women's conference, listen, I was trying to put together, God informed me to put together this women's conference, and I had no idea how I was going to put together, right? I had no idea. I just know that God told me to do it, and I'm being obedient. And I got to the point where I'm like, well, God, how do I? Where am I going to get this money from? How am I going to get? How am I going to put this together? Had a what do you call a silent partner? Donated the $5,000. Then when I got everything all taken care of, all the logistics and everything taken care of, Tony was still there. Like I told you, I was out on dates with these other people. Tony was like, hey, what do you need help with your conference? And I'm like, yo, I am not about to fumble this bag. I'm not about to fumble this bag. This man said, what do you need help with? And I was like, I really don't know. I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't know. I said, I never done this before. I'm just trying to do it. I don't get the assistance from people that, I didn't get a whole lot of assistance. Um, and people kept saying, you have a team. How do you put a team together when you ain't got really no friends? So I was like, how do I put this together? So Tony took the time and we went out to eat. He said, bring your pen and paper. We went out to eat and he and I planned that whole event out, how it should go, what we're going to put in, how we're going to position the speakers, all of that. Had these other guys done that? No, they didn't give a damn about what I was doing. So what I'm saying to you is your mindset, if this is something that you want to do, if it is something that you want to do as far as being married, your mindset is going to have to change. Again, we're not 20 and 30. Most of us are in our 40s, 50s, and 60s. And most of us are single. So thank you guys for the comments. I mean, I just kind of wanted to get on and share the real truth. I love that you guys participated. I really appreciate all the comments and what it takes. Because like I said, we hear so much negativity about what marriage is, but what about the people that are actually going through the marriage, hanging in it, like Zulina said, the rough days, and how does that, what do you do? For those of you that don't know, I ended up having to go from, like I said, from transition, moving from one location to the next. And it has been different. I've never had to do this. I've never moved in with a guy. I've never done that. Right? So I'm just like, now what is my role? How do I move forward? I'm not this spiritual, I'm not this religious person that, from back in the day when people say, well, you shouldn't be doing this, you shouldn't be doing that, or what have you. My journey is my journey. And I'm okay with that, right? Because I know what the end result is. I know what it's going to be. So I just hope that I can continue to share the journey with you. I hope that you guys can continue to uplift me as your sister into the transition into the wife, because it's going to happen, right? Okay, y'all. Okay, that's all I got. The 8 points, the 8 nuggets that I got is for you guys to think about. For those of you that are in the girlfriend stage, just think about it. Just really think about all the stuff that you invest into this man, buying houses, buying this, buying that. And then when something happens, you ain't got no say so. You don't have no say so in to do anything, because whoever the next of kin is, his mom, his sister, his kids, whatever, they ain't gonna give two shits about you, honey. They ain't gonna be caring about you that you was the girlfriend. And Lateral says marriage is a partnership. Single to married is a transition. It doesn't happen overnight, and people change and grow. The goal is to grow together and not apart. So good. It is a partnership. Can you be in partnership? Can you really be dedicated and committed to this person and grow together? The goal is to grow together, not apart. You hear it all the time. Well, we just grew apart. Why are you growing apart? How is it that you're not able to grow together? And how are you not able to communicate to talk about some of the things that you are going through? It's not, when I tell you that it's not peaches and cream, I'm not even married yet. Like I told you, I've been married before, but I'm not even married yet. But I can tell you that as the relationship is going, it is not just this roses every day. It's not. So he's working, I'm taking care of the household, I'm cooking, cleaning, I'm doing running the ends of the business. Like I'm doing a lot of stuff. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. This looks and feels different. It's not bad. It just looks and feels different. So now where do you go from here? You know, like where are you going from here? So I absolutely love the fact that we're able to communicate. I love the fact that I'm able to be transparent and have this journey, being able to show this journey. Zulema says the worth it part for me was realizing that this man showed up for me when I was down at my very lowest. It was my life. This Lois, it was my life. This was my before the marriage and the attentiveness of actually hearing my needs and paying attention. Girl, that is a good one. Making me feel safe and secure. And most recently, my battle with cancer, he stood and stayed when I couldn't even stand. Girl, girl, you about to have me in tears. Okay? Like, that is what I'm talking about. When you can get someone like that, when you can see that this person really, truly, genuinely cares about you and able to stand the test of time. I just had a little upper respiratory infection, and I was waited on hand and foot, like, okay, what do you need? I said, well, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna be able to do this or that or whatever. No, no problem. I'm gonna take care of you. Like, that is what it is. And in return, I'm doing the same thing. It is so good. Like Al Green um, says, or no, who was that? Teddy Pendergrass. It's so good loving somebody when somebody loves you, or whoever sang that song. But yes, like it feels so good loving somebody when somebody loves you back. Like that is it. Alera says, sounds like a keeper. Zulima. That is such a blessing. Thank you so much, Zulima, for sharing that piece, because that is exactly how I feel. When you're being able to find somebody that can show up for you, that is truly genuine there for you, man, it's different. It's really it's a game changer. It really is. And next week we're gonna have on the show a couple of people that are married. If you're interested in being on the show next week, let me know. You can inbox me because I want to talk about. I just kind of want to go a little bit deeper um, about the looks of the marriage, because I think a lot of people have the wrong ideal, the wrong concept of marriage. I think that people think, like I said, if it's not glitz and glams, then it ain't good. No, every day is not going to be sunshine. Every day is not going to, you're going to have times. What happens when that person loses their job? What happens when they're not able to work? What happens then? Do you show your true colors? Zulina says, I just thank God because this time I asked for what I needed versus what I wanted to. That is what I'm talking about. That's the mind shift that I'm telling you that I had to change my mind. I had to change my mindset. What is it that I need? God, send me who it is that I need. What is it that I need? Um, and you can argue the point or what have you. You can say whatever you want to say, but for me, as my story, my journey is that I met somebody that was totally not my type as far as looks are concerned, as far as the build or whatever. And I'm like, you know what? At this age, at this point, I'm happy. Like I'm so happy that this person took the time to care for me, love me, show me what it means to actually be loved, to show me what it means to actually um, to be cared for and say, hey, you're worthy for wife material. A spouse should be a representation of the Most High's love towards us. This is basic in a marriage. It really is. And as I'm growing, as I'm learning, as I'm growing through this transition, like I said, I hope that I can lean on you guys. I hope I can have genuine sisterhood that will be able to talk to me, guide me through this transition. Because, like I said, it's going to happen. But I just feel like everything is different, right? Everything is just different. So yes, it is a good thing. It is the best thing, especially when you have God in it. So I appreciate you guys for joining me. I didn't mean to go over. I do apologize for the technical difficulties. Again, if you want to be on the show, Beyond the Glitter, and that's what the show is all about. Like I said, we're going to be talking about things that are beyond the glitter, beyond the glitz and the glam, because I like to get in and deep and I like to be real honest. Zulema says to me, I had to really seek me, just who I truly was. Life sends us through a roller coaster because we know who we are. Let me before we get out of here, I'm gonna hit on that because I had to really sit down with myself, and it wasn't pretty. It was not pretty at all. In fact, it was horrible. I had to sit with myself, and I had to say, self, okay, is this really who you are? Like you showing up out here, but this is really who you are on the inside. Y'all, I'm being transparent with you guys. Like I literally had to sit with myself and ask myself these questions because I was like, this is not who I want to be. This is not who I want. This is not who I am. And why am I feeling this way? Why do I feel like these looks, this glam, this has to be me? When I tell you that I had to shift my mindset, I really had to go inward and do the work. I could not. I'm telling you the truth, y'all. I'm giving you the raw stuff. I'm telling you the truth. I had to go in with myself. I had to go into counseling therapy when there was times when I could not afford it. I picked up a journal and I started working in those journals. You know the one like on TikTok and stuff. That's all I could afford. That's all I could do. I go through and I would work on myself. And then I would get another nugget. And then I would say, you know what? Okay. So I learned that I need to learn about mindset. Okay. How do I change my mindset? I asked my other coach, James Valentine. I was like, hey, what is the books that I need on mindset? He gave me the list of mindset um, books. And I read and I read books. I know y'all think I'm just over here not doing anything, but truly, truly working on myself, as you should, as you should be, and continue to do. So, thank you guys for joining me. It has been such a pleasure getting to know you guys, going on this journey. Like I said, I hope that you guys can be able to uplift and share. I will get to all your comments because I made a separate post about what that transition looks like from girlfriend to wife. And then next week, like I said, if you want to be on the show, I'm gonna have a few people that are on the show and they're gonna talk about live situations about what that transition looked like and what did it feel like? How did it go? So we're gonna talk about that next week. Happy Valentine's to all the happy marriages out here. I wish you guys the best. And until then, we'll see you later.